Hello, this is Brian with ZimCo Survival, and I'm back again today. Today I'm doing a review for you guys on the überleben Lumen. Now this is a glow-in-the-dark style ferro rod that is basically designed to glow in the dark. The handle itself is not painted, it's made out of the glow-in-the-dark material. It's very well made. I don't feel like it's going to come apart, and it's certainly not cheap. But I questioned whether or not it would glow enough to be useful. That's all I care about. Is it going to glow enough to actually be useful? And in this case, it does. Now, it's not going to glow all night. It's not going to glow, you're not going to light a path with it. But it glows well enough that you can start a fire in the dark using this ferro rod. Now, in my opinion, the handle itself is really cool. But when I got it, I actually like the fire steel a lot more than I like the handle, if that makes sense. I do like that this glows. I do like that at night I can see where it is and I can actually get a fire started because it does illuminate a little bit. But what I liked is the fact that it gave me a good striker, a nice piece of cordage, shot cord, and a decent fire steel, or actually a very good fire steel. Fire steel itself, let me just kind of backtrack here a little bit. The fire steel is about I'd say almost 3 inches, 2 3/4, somewhere in there. It is 3/8 of an inch thick, and it is a very soft fire steel. But the problem I've always had with soft fire steels, and the reason I don't prefer them, is how much force it takes to strike them. You end up blowing through your fire steel really quickly because you scrape off a lot of material every time you take and make a strike. And the problem with doing that is you just use up your fire steel. Even in cases where you don't need that kind of spark, you're going to end up with that much. But this one I actually really like because I can pick and choose how much I use. And I'm going to show you that here in just a second because it's starting to rain on me again. But basically, the fire steel itself, like I said, is about 2 3/4 of actual steel, and then about a 1-inch handle. The handle itself does glow fairly well. You're not going to lose it. It's not going to last all night, and you're not going to have some bright glowing thing that people are going to see from miles away. But it does glow enough that if you put it down, you're going to see it, and if you try to start fire with it, you're going to be able to see what you're doing. But it's not going to last all night, so keep that in mind. This is more of one of those things where it got darker faster than you expected. This is going to help you get that fire going. The only catch is it has to be charged. So I found leaving it on my backpack to be the best way to do that. But let me go ahead and kind of shorten up this review a little bit, and I'm going to take you over there to the stump. Overall, really do like this, but let me go ahead and show you the feature of this that I actually found really cool that really sold me on this rod. So I'll be right back. Alright, so welcome back to the fire stump. Basically, I'm just going to use a piece of the Culligan's fire stick that I showed you guys earlier. I got my little elders here and my überleben rod. So let me go ahead and just shave off some pieces from this stick. Not a whole lot, don't need much. Just want to show you guys what I found here and show you how well it lights. That should be enough. Alright, so basically what I found about it is by adjusting the pressure, where most soft rods you can't do this. Hard rods you can, but most soft rods you can't. If you adjust the pressure like I can do this, come on. I hate bungee cords. There we go. See? I'm not using much pressure. And I can create decent sparks. And only use right up here towards the tip of the ferro rod. Or I can take from all the way up here, put down a lot of pressure, and really shoot the sparks if I need to, if my tinder isn't particularly good. But if I have like a, say a petroleum cotton ball or something like this, I can just kind of go really light and still get adequate sparks. So let me show you what I mean. Just move this out of the way. Take, scrape it. You see, the smaller sparks don't really work that well right now because everything is damp because it's raining. But I can take, just scrape off some more of this there, and do really hard strokes, and there you go. You get longer burning, hotter sparks. So I like the fact that I can pick and choose how much of this ferro rod I want to use at any one time, simply by basing how hard I'm going to stroke the rod or strike the rod for whatever tinder I'm going to be using. So, you know, I can do like this, even though it's a soft rod, and still get sparks, but as you can see, they don't last as long. Or I can really push down and get those really long burning, really hot sparks. But hopefully that also showed you what kind of sparks this thing gives off. They're very, very hot, and you get a lot of them. But I'll be right back. We'll go ahead and finish up the review. But I hope that kind of demonstrated what I was talking about a little bit. And I was trying to rush through it. It's starting to rain, trying to get everything done. But essentially, by just picking and choosing how much of this rod and how hard I'm scraping it, I'm picking and choosing how much of a spark I want. You know, how hot, how long burning. Now normally, like I said, with soft rods, you cannot do that. You have to strike it hard and fast in order to get that really nice spark to form. But with this one, I'm just kind of rubbing on it right now. See? And then you really bear down on it and you get those really long burning sparks. So that's a feature of a soft ferro rod that I really like, or that of this soft ferro rod that I really like. Most of the time, and the reason I prefer medium or hard ferro rods is because I can choose how hard I want to scrape it, how, you know, the spark that I want to get for the kind of tinder I'm using. So I'm not wasting more of the ferro rod than I need to use. And that's why I've kind of stayed away from soft rods. But this one I thought was interesting because it looked like it, you know, it was glow in the dark, had a decent looking handle on it. So I figured I'd go ahead and give it a shot. And when I started using it, I realized that I could do what I did with my hard rods, which was pick and choose how much of a spark I wanted. And I really, really liked that. So I actually ordered a second one and put that one, I'm actually putting it on this. Now I didn't take the handle off of it. That's the one that came with it because I put it back on to do a review for you guys. But I'm actually putting it on my fire knife, which is my eldest, to kind of show you guys, or because I do like it that much. I think it's that good of a ferro rod. So all in all, in my honest opinion, it is well worth getting. In comparison with another ferro rod that's very common of this size, which is the Light My Fire Army Edition, I'm going to say that this one is superior. I'm going to say that this one here is actually a better ferro rod than the Light My Fire Army. I know I'm a heretic, but the point of the matter is, it is a better rod. So, better striker, better rod, better all around. So as always, I'm going to go ahead and put an affiliate link in the description for you guys so you can take a look at it for yourself. And remember, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. Bye-bye.